Well, first of all, I am a father of 5 kids, so being a dad's pretty easy to do. Being a psychopathic dad with ulterior motives is a little bit different. The way I approach any sort of an acting job is I want to become the character. So I spent actually a little bit of time watching movies where there were characters that did the twist, where you thought they were one character and they turned out to be another character, where there was a twist in personality. It was rather difficult. Some of the scenes were rather difficult, especially towards the end. But when you are in character, you're not thinking, gee, this is difficult. You are just the character. I like playing heavies because there's more to them. I mean, you don't want to make them one-dimensional. You don't want to make them just a guy you hate. There's got to be something about the character that you yourself can identify with, i.e., in this case, he is a dad. And I really do believe that he does love his fictitious son. So, I mean, because if you go at the character ultimately hating the guy from the get-go, it's just going to be very one-dimensional. You know, there's a lot of terrific performers out there, a lot of terrific performances. I'm not going to name actors because we all know the Al Pacinos and the Robert Duvalls and the Robert De Niros of the world, but there's a lot of good independent movies out there too, which I also found myself looking at as well. In order to get something believable, you don't want it to be over the top. And my background is as stage acting, and it's very easy for me to be too much. And ultimately my natural demeanor is very animated, very histrionic. I've heard from casting directors from the day one, now bring it down a notch, bring it down. So actually watching independent films has really helped me out an awful lot, because they seem so documentary in their approach. They seem so realistic, and they don't seem like it's being acted. Anyway. It was one of the worst hotels I've ever seen in my imagination or in real life. There were real cockroaches. There was real debauchery going on around us. It was a spooky environment. So that in and of itself gave you an edge, I think. I think it gave myself an edge and the rest of the performers too. We were kind of edgy anyway because of the environment that we were in. But having that scene shot in that room with all the characters converging at that moment, that was very exciting as well. And a lot of the shock and a lot of the energy that was being circulated in that room, I think, was very real. It was fun. It was fun. It was also kind of exciting and kind of scary at the same time. There's so many themes that are being brought out in the movie itself. I liked it because it was a character study. I think everyone in the movie, all the characters in the movie had a story. There were backstories, there were plots, there were subplots. They were being carried out all simultaneously, and I think it all worked together. Reminded me of, and I hate to use analogies because this is entirely its own. This work stands on its own. But like a Robert Altman movie, where it's a character study, where you have an ensemble piece, where you have a group of actors, and they all have their own abilities, but as a character they all have their own stories and subplots being woven into the main plot. I liked it because of the epic nature of the movie. It had so much going on, and it had so much to say about today's youth, about individuals as a whole. You walk away from the movie thinking, we're all yin and yang. There's nobody that's all yin, there's nobody that's all yang. We're all yin and yang. There's good and bad in everybody. Some people are more disgusting than others. but that's, I think, why I really enjoyed the movie, because there was just so much going on. When there was a cut from one scenario to another scenario, the jump back to that previous scenario or the other scenarios, it was just fun. You couldn't wait to get back to the next segment to see how it had progressed. And then, of course, ultimately how it all winds down together. A lot of fun. Well, there was a lot to it. This was on This was not something that someone said, hey, I want to make a movie, and we're going to have drugs in it, and there's going to be some sex, and we're going to... No, this was a movie that was very... I mean, this was well thought out. And there was a lot of emotion, a lot of passion that was brought to the work by the writers, directors, producers, maybe even some of their own life experiences as well. It wasn't just something that was schlepped together. It had a lot of thought, but it was very thoughtful, and that kind of caught my attention. Again, it really impressed me that this was a work done by, I'm going to use this term, a master filmmaker or a master screenwriter, because there's so much going on. I mean, this wasn't just a one-dimensional storyline at all. This had so many different subplots and so much going on in it. I love this script. If I had not been a part of it, I would say, hey, this is going to be an awesome movie if I just read the script. David was a lot of fun to work with. He gave you a lot of freedom. I didn't feel constricted at all. His direction was broad, but it was defined, and I think that's important. I liked when you see the overall product, when you actually see the movie itself, it has a very fresh, very energetic approach. The camera, we're not talking about one stoic position. There's multi-positions. There's, I'll use another term, jump shots, if you want to use a term. It keeps you excited. It makes you want to watch this. And I think that was his directing style as well. It kept you very excited, very on the edge of your seat, and I didn't feel like I was under a microscope. I felt like I had a little bit of room to work, and that's very important as an actor. Oh, awesome! And when the camera wasn't rolling, they were making me laugh my ass off. Which is good. You keep that lighthearted atmosphere going on, and you keep that energy going. And you never knew what they were going to say next or where we were going to go next, and that was fun too. I kind of like that, not really knowing what was going to happen next. But no, the way they worked together, there was a synergy there. They were of one mind, and I think that was important as well. When do we do the sequel? No. You can't do a sequel. This is a standalone. No, I love to work with Mr. Petlansky and crew again, and in fact, the rest of the people that were in the movie itself, everyone involved with the movie was a lot of fun to work with, and some very talented people as well. I think Mr. Petlansky can go very far, and Jeff as well, and everybody involved with the project as well.